Jimmy, go.
Hello and welcome to the pre-show for another Bungie stream. We are here today to reveal Warmind, the second expansion to Destiny 2. This is a final mic check. We are adjusting our audio levels. You should do the same.
Okay.
This is the sound of my voice to use as a test pattern. I'm Deej, I will be your host. The stream will begin in approximately 4 minutes. Talk to you then.
8 and 4 minutes. Gucci. Woo. Fucking minutes. We here, guys. Right.
Hello and welcome to the reveal stream for Warmind, the second expansion to Destiny 2. I'm Deej and I'll be your host, and I will be joined in the hot seats today by many waves of developers to talk about different aspects of this new piece of content that comes out May 8th. That will be a fitting theme for this stream, but we'll tell you why in a few moments. First, I'd like to introduce you to some of the creative leadership that has driven this project together. We have Evan Nikolic from Bungie.
Hey.
And we have Brent Gibson from Vicarious Visions.
Hello.
So this is an interesting milestone because we've talked about our partnership with Vicarious Visions before. We've introduced our community to some members of your team when we were bringing the PC build out into the wild for the first time. But this is the first time that we have ever sat in these chairs together as partners to talk about how we can create a new adventure from scratch together. So talk to me a little bit about what you do in your respective studios, and then we'll explore the way we've been working together. So what would you say you do here?
So I'm the design director on the Bungie side for Warmind, and I describe my role primarily as like getting the two studios to work together, coordinate to build this product, and then making sure that we're staying in lockstep as we build the next Destiny experience.
Mm-hmm. Common creative vision.
Yep.
Two studios. So when you take that common creative vision into Vicarious Visions, what role did you play?
Yeah, I'm the creative director for the studio, and my job is really to work with the entire team to make sure that their creative ideas are making their way into the game and that they make sense as a complete package.
Yeah. Many developers,
Lots of people.
many disciplines.
Yep.
Yeah, we're always reminding people that Destiny is a game that takes a lot of people to make. There's no one thing that we accomplish with any one person. There's a lot of people that worked on this one, and I imagine they're all watching because they're excited to see their hard work being seen by eager players for the first time.
Yep.
So what's it like when you're working together, two studios coming together and coming up with an idea? Like, whose idea was it for us to go to these new places and to fight these enemies and to discover new heroes? How does that work?
Well, we talk about this a lot, and I think the thing that I like about our partnership so much is that you really don't know where the ideas begin and end. Like, everybody's been working really hard to make sure that this is like a truly collaborative effort, and that we're all taking the best ideas, regardless of where they come from, to make the best game we can.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what's been great about working with VV is that we just started with a single goal, like we need to make an expansion to Destiny, and working with VV, bringing their passion for Destiny, but then also bringing the new perspectives and a different way of like approaching how we build the game and the new experiences we're creating for this release.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you're going to see in this build that are like VV special sauce. There's some strengths that we had that we felt that would be a huge addition to Destiny as a brand, and so when you get through Warmind, you're actually going to see some of that stuff in the game.
Yep.
So we have the potential to surprise some players with some new things, but it's still the world of Destiny.
Absolutely, still Destiny.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
VV's brought their bend to it, but definitely it's still Destiny, and I'm definitely proud of what we built here today.
What's it been like for you guys to come into this development process and to learn new tools and to join us in this crazy chaotic web that we weave?
Yeah, I mean, first thing is it's been 2 years of building this relationship, and I described Evan as kind of our Sherpa up the mountain of learning how to make Destiny, and we really had to come at it super hungry to learn. And these guys have been amazing mentors. This is a big, complex game. There's a lot going on to it, and we have to, there was a lot of work that went into that 2 years to learn that.
I know that we've had a lot of people from your studio visiting us. I know that we've sent people from Bungie to go and live and work among your people. So
our frequent flyer mile pool is massive.
Well, it was your idea to be in Albany, New York. So I want to talk about our goals for this project, and we're going to take a look at some gameplay soon, but we want to set your expectations for what we set out to achieve with Warmind. I actually encountered a tweet from Paris from Gamertag Radio yesterday, and there's a lot of people in the Destiny community who are looking at our roadmap. And they're talking about the things that we want to do to transform the player experience, to enhance the hobby that revolves around Destiny. We had a long conversation about these things with members of our community in our first community summit. We're pretty happy with the way that went down, so I'm hoping there will be more of those in the future. But we are looking to do a lot of things to Destiny. Update 114 was a step in that direction. Warmind is the next delivery of content and transformative enhancements to the way we play Destiny. And Paris from Gamertag Radio said, "Think it's safe to say that we want new and exciting things to do and explore, while also giving us an earned challenge for those that enjoy activities in the end game." So this May 8th, that's what a lot of people in our community are looking forward to. New things to do, new ways to play, an injection of new challenges into the end game. You think you can satisfy that with Warmind?
Yeah, I definitely think we're hitting some of those beats and satisfying what players want. I think you put it as like, this is the next step where we want to take Destiny. So we got all new destination to explore. We're putting a bunch of secrets in the destination we want you guys to find and tell stories about. New story and campaign, new adventures. We have a new endgame activity called Escalation Protocol that we'll cover more later today. We want to challenge players. We have a new raid layer. We're bringing PvP ranking in, private matches, new PvP maps, like all up. I think we have a very big package and offering here, and we hope to keep players engaged for the coming weeks.
We've layered so many things into this game. I challenge players to find it all. There's so much.
They accept that challenge.
Yes.
Careful challenging our community. So we're going to a new destination. Where exactly are we going?
Yes, so we're going to back to Mars, and so it's a place that if you play D1, it's a place you're familiar with, but it's a different take on what we have here. We call it Hellas Basin. It takes place in the polar ice cap of Mars, and we're for discovering Rasputin Awakening.
Yeah, Rasputin, just leaping off that, Rasputin is woken and set off a chain of events solar system wide. So you're seeing war sats raining down from the sky, and specifically on Mars. This is causing the ice caps to melt.
Let's show while we tell. We're going to break live. We have a fire team on the surface of Mars. You may have been to Mars before, but this is an entirely new landing zone. So let's take a look at what we can see here. You said the polar ice caps of Mars are melting.
Yep.
And there's a view of the skybox. We can see our old friend Phobos in the distance. And we've got some space junk raining down from the skies. And then if we pivot left, we can actually see what you were talking about. So the polar ice caps are receding.
Yes, and they're uncovering a time capsule left on Mars, which is Clovis Bray. It's the cradle of invention. It's the birthplace of all the technology that we know in the Destiny universe today. And it also happens to be the birthplace of Rasputin. So in the distance there, you can see that we have a huge facility, and this is Rasputin's stronghold.
And it wouldn't be Destiny if we didn't have public events and crazy things happening in the Nubian world. So Rasputin is on Mars. You're telling me Rasputin was born on Mars. We don't want to overspoil the story elements that we're going to learn in this game.
No.
Hot take from the community. Stop telling me everything I'm going to learn.
Absolutely.
Stop mortgaging the gameplay to make your streams awesome. So we are going to leave a lot of the player discovery on a lot of the story for the actual player experience. I'm sure you'll explain to us how Rasputin can be on Mars and in old Russia at the same time.
Yeah.
And we will satisfy all of these curiosities. I know we have plans to do that. For the time being, this is your first glimpse of the place on Mars where you'll be exploring, where you'll be playing. This is where the campaign will take place.
Yeah.
But then even after the campaign is over, you have reasons for us to come back to this place.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we have, well, one, thawing right next to Rasputin, we have the hive.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a whole new frozen hive that's on destination that's there to challenge the players.
Yep, and then like part of that hive, the awakening is like we have the escalation protocol event.
Yeah.
That's a ritualized public event that we encourage you to play over and over again with escalating waves of difficult combatants to fight. And on top of that, we have plenty of secrets and lore squirreled away and hidden in parts of the destination. And like we're really looking forward to players like unearthing that and uncovering that and learning more about like the Bray facility and the Bray family.
Yep.
It's been an interesting construct of science fiction where you have the company,
Yeah.
you have the corporation, and you have the evidence of commerce, whether it's Wayland Yutani or whether it's the Tyrell Corporation. So
Right.
Clovis Bray is our own storytelling fictional corporation, and we're going to learn a little bit more about Clovis Bray, including some of the people that were involved in the operation of Clovis Bray. Is that right?
Absolutely, yes. We're actually introducing Anna Bray.
Anna Bray.
Anna Bray.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Anna Bray is a new hero that we will encounter during our adventures. Anna Bray is, she serves an important role in the storytelling as well as the player experience.
Yeah, she's the cornerstone of a lot of the things that we're doing in Warmind.
Okay.
And so she'll be your friend along the adventure. She's going to be your vendor. And she's going to be, like I said, that cornerstone on unraveling the relationship between Rasputin, Clovis Bray, and herself.
Well, we're going to actually show the prologue for Warmind, and this is going to be an introduction to Anna Bray. If you don't want any spoilers, this would be a wonderful opportunity for you to go and fix yourself a tasty beverage, because we're going to play the prologue in just a moment here. Before we do that, I want to thank Evan Nikolic and Brent Gibson for being on stream with us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for the work that you've done to give us new things to play and talking to us a little bit about your creative vision for this expansion. Warmind comes out on May 8th, and we hope you'll be right there with us.
Man, look, y'all ain't said shit yet. Ain't said nothing good.
Interesting. Receding ice caps, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Go back to work.
Now, but we're really looking forward to May 8th.
Cool. All right.
Go
Well,
back to
anything
work,
else you want to say
guys.
to the Guardians who are watching?
Good luck playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing the stories you guys come up with.
All right. Well, with that, thank you so much for being on stream.
When they say
We're going to
stories,
put
they
our
talk
next
about
round
the
of
stories
developers in the
motherfucking
seats.
lied to us
But
about.
for the time being, this is Anna Bray.
Guardians aren't supposed to investigate their past. That's the rule. But I'm not good with rules. Not when there's this much at stake. The Clovis Bray tech in that building allowed us to colonize the system during the Golden Age. They, sought to create peace for all humanity. Which is ironic, because they also built Rasputin, the single most powerful weapon in the solar system. Either way, it's all been entombed on Mars since the collapse, along with something far more terrifying.
So that was Anna Bray. And these are the next two developers, the next wave of creators that are going to introduce us to the things that you made. We have Jacob Benton.
How's it going, Deej?
It's good. Good to have you here. And we have Ben Womack.
Good morning, Deej.
Good morning. Gentlemen, we're going to take a look at Escalation Protocol, which has been described as a cyclical, ritualized endgame activity that you have put into Warmind.
Yep.
Before we jump into that, give me an idea as to what you do at Bungie.
Yeah, I'm a designer, so I work on encounters and activities and things like Escalation Protocol.
Okay.
So I was the lead designer for this team that made Escalation Protocol, so I was there to help the team succeed and get all the support in the game. People can see it.
So we're going to take a look at, we have a fire team all assembled to play Escalation Protocol. Before we do that, here they are in destination. Talk to me about your goals for this activity. What did you set out to create here?
So the #1 goal was trying to make a challenging in-game experience that people really wanted to come back to and aspire to finish. We know that the community and a lot of friends, and internally we've been wanting bigger challenges in the game.
Yeah, like something we can go home and play at night and like really feel challenged by.
Yeah, you've heard the community feedback that maybe Destiny 2 isn't hard enough.
Yes, we've heard that.
We heard
this is your answer to that feedback.
Yep.
Yeah, this is one of our answers.
Okay, just one of our answers to the feedback that Destiny could be a little bit more challenging. All right, anything else that you want to say about it before we take a look at it in action?
Yeah, there's a couple cool features about it. It's has a lot of the characteristics of public events that you already see in public zones in Destiny, and that if it's running, anyone else can run up to it and engage with it and play. Like, we're really trying to get people to, join up even if they're not in the same fire team, to overcome the same challenges.
One big difference, though, is you can start it at any time as a player. Like, you can walk up and start it. It's not like regular public events where they're on a schedule. Like, you could be running this pretty much 24/7 if you wanted to.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
Good.
So in that case, should we take a look at exactly how a player would activate Escalation Protocol?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a bunch of people assembled in this public space, which means that they can play together, but other people can come up and play with them. And with the interaction, what do we see rising up out of the ground here?
So this is some technology that Rasputin has embedded in Mars around his area in the public zones, and whenever it activates, it draws waves of hive into the location. And Rasputin's doing this because he wants you to take all of them out before the device deactivates and the hive manage to escape. So he's trying to corral them in for you. And every single time one of those rises up, as you play the event more and more, it'll bring a stronger wave of hive with a stronger boss you have to fight.
Yeah, like it starts out, moderately easy and then ramps up to get pretty difficult by the end of it.
Yeah. So let's talk about the structure of the event. They just activated the event, and it plays out in waves.
That's right.
Yep.
How many waves?
So there's 7 total waves that you go through until you reach the end of the event. And the 7th one, it's no longer the this crashing like horde of hive. There's actually a unique boss fight that has a unique mechanic, and we're actually even one-upping that one more level because we have 5 unique bosses that are going to rotate every week.
Okay. So each wave has its own boss.
Right.
And then the final wave has a final boss, and week over week, you have 5 of them, and we will face a different final boss week over week.
Correct.
And then once you've played for 5 weeks, you will have encountered all of them, and then
it'll restart at the first
you can face them again.
And some of the bosses drop things that other bosses don't. So
unique rewards to specific bosses?
Yep.
Exactly. Unique rewards to this activity, too.
Okay.
Yeah, there are things that drop from this activity that you can't get anywhere else in the game.
So we are seeing people who are fighting with some weapons that we've never seen before, and we've seen the Graviton Lance before, but some of the other Guardians in this fire team are using weapons that are specific to this activity. Talk to me about why I would want to play Escalation Protocol if I am a lover of new armor and new loot and different ways to fight.
So the weapons are pretty insane. So you see right now they're using the shotgun, Ikelo's shotgun. They have unique perks on them. So when he takes a melee on the enemy, and then he gets a damage bonus on his shotgun for a few seconds.
It feels a lot to me like Fourth Horseman in some ways, which was one of my favorite weapons from D1. But it's kind of cooler because you melee to trigger it and then just unload on the guy.
Yeah, and so that's only the first weapon. We actually have 2 other legendary weapons that are unique. We have a sniper rifle, which has a perk called box breathing, where if you aim down sights long enough, before firing a shot, they'll then get a big damage boost to your critical hits.
Okay.
It's such a big damage boost, you're like, whoa, like, I can't believe I did that much damage with one bullet. And then it has triple tap on the gun besides that, so you can get some really good, like, high damage moments if you can make all those shots.
That's one of the things that we've needed to add to Destiny 2 is specific activities that give us specific rewards, that have specific perks that help us excel in those activities.
Yeah, that's another part of community feedback that we've been hearing loud and clear. We really want to deliver with Escalation Protocol.
And the armor set is super cool looking as well. It's very like Rasputin sort of themed, and when you have the full set in completion, it just looks pretty rad.
And you're only going to get that armor from this activity.
Correct.
That's right.
So, talk to me about how the character progression is structured. If I'm playing Escalation Protocol, what can I expect to earn week over week? What can I expect to earn every single time I complete all 7 waves of the activity?
So we have a few different reward systems that working at the same time inside of the activity. One of the, I think the most desirable one.
Don't wave at the boss.
That's a high value target that's messing with them right now.
Okay.
In the public space, like stuff collides like a really, really fun ways. But so we have several different systems. When you finish the wave 3 and 5, chest will spawn that has more kind of normal public event type rewards in it, as well as chances of vanity items that you only get from this from Escalation Protocol.
Yeah.
The most desirable stuff comes from beating that boss at the end.
Okay.
We have 2 different systems. We have those guns we
I'm
mentioned.
going to interrupt you. What do we got here?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, this is the Hive Sword. You may remember it.
Yeah.
The first Destiny. Go get another one. Go get another one.
Yeah, someone else can grab one too.
Yes.
So there are these shadow rifts that spawn, and you have to take those out, or the hive aren't going to be drawn to the tower, and the time's going to expire. So when you go to take those out, there's a knight that spawns with a sword, and if you kill him, you can actually get the sword for yourself.
Nice.
And it's happening right now.
And this is exactly the same sword as we had in D1 that fans may remember from that game. So you can even you can use a super and use a smash, and you don't want to do it on exploding throw probably. But you can also sword glide with the melee through the air. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of fun, and it breaks up the encounters really well. It's also actually really important because some of these waves are going to just take a massive majors or other like high difficulty targets, and they're going to just throw them at you all at once. So instead of maybe using your super or some heavy ammo, you can grab a sword and delicately try to carve your way through them.
This isn't just about shooting Hive and shooting wave after wave after wave of Hive. You're seeing some interesting mechanics here. You're seeing some things that they'll have to work together to accomplish. You see, like you were saying, sort of the shadow rifts. You're seeing some of the crystals that are suspended up in the air. So, while we can leave some of that problem solving, some of that understanding to the people while they play, what would you tell them about some of the different complexity that you've added to the activity?
One of the things we found is that things like Melting Point, or even Tether as they're using now, are going to become pretty critical, especially as you move into later waves. So when we've been playing it, we regularly will stop before the playtest and coordinate, okay, what are you bringing? Like if I'm bringing Celestial Nighthawk, can you bring Orpheus Rig? And that stuff that hasn't really been needed ever in public spaces before is needed now to complete this.
Yeah, when you aren't running someone with a Melting Point, or you aren't running Tractor Cannon with the new exotic update has this amazing damage buff that it can give to targets, you're going to notice the difference.
Cool. We're seeing some new items enter their inventory.
Yeah. One of the items, he may have just gotten one of the armory codes. So you can get armory codes during the event and for doing other things on Mars and around the game. And you can spend those armory tokens to get a special weapon during the event that you're probably going to need at some point in order to progress forward.
Yeah, we call it the Valkyrie, and it's basically like a incredible, I don't even know how to describe it accurately, but it's like a magical spear rocket launcher that destroys absolutely everything. And those armory codes are going to be really important for when you're on the crux moment or time's kind of running out and you need to get that extra moment to get through a wave. And you're going to want to use it at the right time, and it's going to make a difference.
Should we debut that weapon
on
stream, or should we save it for the players to discover when they play for themselves?
Well, grab it. Yeah, grab it. It's almost too good not to use.
Here we go, and we're up. This is the Valkyrie. You can see the Rasputin style tech on board. It's a melee weapon. It's a ranged weapon.
And it only lasts a short amount of time.
So use it wisely.
Yeah, use it wisely. You want to like bring it out maybe when the boss for the wave comes out, or when a huge amount of ogres spawn, for example.
It was a good moment for theatrical demonstration purposes, maybe not the best tactical moment.
I'm not going to criticize the person playing.
We're showing and telling. And I'm seeing things hidden under bridges that I'm not going to talk about, so we'll again keep that promise and leave.
Oh, there's a sword.
There you go. Have your sword. So which wave are they fighting now?
So they're in the third one right now.
Okay.
And there's 7 total.
Seven total. And they've been getting through these pretty readily. Keep in mind that we're using high-level characters right now.
We have had streams before where we wanted to prove the activity was hard, and what happened was our audience watched people die again and again and again and again.
We actually started testing this out like that.
Yeah.
We had them at like the proper level.
Yeah, like the level people be at the first week of play.
I'm sure there are people watching who attended our community summit who actually got to experience this activity, and they'll be going live after stream with their own, their own analyses, their own takes on what this is. We made them play at a much lower level,
right?
Because we wanted to demonstrate that this was hard. But for the purposes of this stream, we've leveled these characters up to the point where they've completed the campaign.
Right.
They've probably played this for a few weeks.
They have weapons that drop only from this.
They have weapons that only drop from this, which make them better at performing in this. So a character's first experience in this activity may be very challenging.
Yeah.
Failure may be the default state when you first get started.
Yeah. In fact, you were talking about having
Hang on. What's this?
Whoa, what's this?
So here we have Cosmo is demonstrating some of the different armor that we can take a look at. And the best way to show off your armor to yourself is to do some emotes. And we now have an emote wheel. I think you're a little bored with all those green emotes, but we can definitely get you some better emotes through your commitment to the game.
You can see the amazing helmet that you get only from Escalation Protocol.
Yeah. We've got the new emote wheel. That goes in for every single player of Destiny. It's one of the Season 3 upgrades. Escalation Protocol is exclusive to Warmind.
That's right, correct.
And just to recap, rewards that are specific to the activity.
That's right.
You made it real hard. In fact, what was the feedback you got at the summit?
At the summit, they were finding it difficult, but the feedback we got was that they would prefer if it was even more difficult. And we were really close to being locked down, but we managed to squeeze in one final change specifically based on the community feedback from the summit to make it even harder.
Yeah, the day of the summit, that right afterwards, Jake and I went back up to our desks and got cranking on making a change and getting all the right channels involved for it. And so now it'll be even harder, as people ask for. So.
Yep. Well, we're about to find out. We're about to find out if people should have been more careful about what they wish for. So this begins on May 8th, along with Warmind. It must be said that you need to finish the Warmind campaign before this is even available to you.
Right. Correct.
Though, if someone else has actually started it, you can engage and follow along, even if you haven't finished the campaign. Which you're probably going to help make a difference by being there. Mm-hmm. You're also going to be probably kind of wrecked. It's because you will be lower level, but at the same time, people can res you. Your bullets will count. So by all means.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is all waiting out there in the wild, and people can dive in after they finish the campaign or during, in progress, if they want to get punished. We call it Escalation Protocol. We will actually leave this activity now and leave the rest for discovery by our players. So this fire team can go back to orbit for the next act of our reveal. Gentlemen, thank you so much for the hard work that you put into this, including rapid responses to community feedback in what was literally the 11th hour.
I guess that doesn't mean
glad to see you collaborating with some people in our
subclass
community to make sure that you dial it up to 11 at their request. Awesome. Anything else you'd like to say to the Guardians in our audience before we move along to take a look at the Crucible?
Looking forward to playing it with everyone.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing you out in the world and doing Escalation Protocol.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for being on stream today, and we will talk to you again about this once we get some player stories coming at us from out in the wild.
Thanks, Teach.
Can't wait. Up next, we're going to take a look at some updates for Season 3 that are about to hit Destiny, and to accomplish this, let's introduce you to two combatants in our fire team that will be sparring in this live fire exercise. You should know Cosmo by now, your friendly community manager.
What's up?
As well as Kevin Yanis, who is a designer on the Crucible team, who you may remember from our most recent Bungie bounty. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So you have the comm. Talk to us about what you'd like to reveal today, and then we'll get to playing some games.
So today, the Crucible team is going to talk to you about two important features coming in Season 3. Both of these are available to all players of Destiny, regardless of Warmind ownership, and those are Crucible Ranks and Private Match. I'm going to open up with Crucible Ranks here. So starting in Season 3, all players are going to be invited to the world of Crucible Ranks, and you're going to have a choice of 2 ranks, which really dictate like how you're going to play and how what type of investment you're going to make into the game. So there is the Valor rank, which is a progression rank that goes up when you win, up when you complete matches, and winning helps you move up faster, but there are absolutely no loss penalties. This is more a reflection of your time commitment. This is something you can go in, kick back, relax, and make progress towards something.
So everybody can get in and rank up a little bit and kind of progress through.
Absolutely. And you're going to find this rank actually featured on a quick play and all of our rotating playlists. And then we have the Glory rank here, which is which is attached strictly only to the competitive playlist. And this is a rank that goes up when you win and down when you lose. It's all about performance. It's all about the W's. So if you can win, if you can close out those matches, we're going to reward you for it.
And what do we stand to gain?
What if you lose? You go down. You go down. You really want to stay in the game as well, because if you leave early, you're going to get hit with the loss. Each rank features a form of streaking. So Valor, as you can win consecutively, you'll earn more points up to a cap, and that'll reset back down.
Streak bonus.
Correct. There's streak bonuses. Glory features the same type of streak bonus, but it also features a loss streak, which means if you're losing a lot, it's going to hurt more. And that also caps out as well. Okay. And that's there, to add a little bit more of the risk of playing a competitive match. But I believe players who wanted this type of system wanted that type of risk. And speaking of rewards,
am I getting anything other than this?
You're absolutely getting stuff. So starting in season 3, we're actually changing up the way Crucible rewards work entirely. When you go to Shaxx, as you will be required to when you first log in on Season 3, you'll be presented not only with a welcome package that contains 2 amazing emblems, but you'll also be presented with the entire slew of rewards and exactly how to get them. Some of them are attached to reaching ranks, some of them require reaching a rank and then completing a challenge. Something like pulse rifle kills, or hand cannon headshots, sniper headshots, redeeming engrams, or resetting your Valor. So if players were to max out their Valor rank, they can decide, if they want to reset it, begin that journey anew, and that will actually be one tracked in an emblem, but also be a way that you unlock certain rewards.
So if I see somebody that has like 735 resets, we know that they've played a lot of Crucible.
Yes, and it is uncapped. So you play as much as you want, play as much Valor as you want, earn as much Valor as you want, and we will showcase that. So these are the 2 emblems you get for completing that intro quest, and as you see here, the Valor Season 3 emblem tracks the number of Valor ranks you've completed.
So I like emblems, but is there any sort of rewards that I can actually use?
Yes. I'll get to that in just a second. Okay. The Glory emblem here, for those of you who are interested in the Glory rank, actually tracks your rank points in real time, which means this is exactly how much you have slapped on if you want to peacock a bit, show off. But yes, if you want a tangible reward, there's already a series of brand new guns that you're going to be able to earn from completing ranks and earning ranks. But there's specifically one gun each season that we're going to deliver that's going to be the chase. It's for Season 3, that's Redrix's Claymore. And this gun is unlike many guns because it features a new perk called Desperado. So as you see here, it has barrel traits, it has Outlaw, fan favorite, which is actually getting buffed in the 1.2.0 patch, so that it refreshes every headshot kill. No cooldown. And Desperado, well, that's synergistic with it. So reloading while Outlaw is active is going to increase your rate of fire. But unlike other rate of fire perks we've made in the past, this one does not lower your impact, which means you're still getting the crispy 3 burst, you're just getting it faster.
So, wow, okay.
Yeah. See it in action.
Yes, you will. This gun is attached to the Fabled rank in Glory. So for those of you who want to earn this, you have to set your sights on Fabled, make your way there.
So we're not just giving that to everybody.
Absolutely not. This is going to be, I predict, one of the harder rewards to earn. If you see somebody with this, you know they're good, and you know they've earned it. So, with that said, let's take a look at Private Match.
Yes, it's back.
Yes, it's pretty insane. So, Private Match is back. It's everything you have known and loved about the Destiny 1 Private Match with some of our new game modes, and we've heard the feedback for certain about some of the options not necessarily fitting people's preferences. So we've done things like stripped out time of day and stuff like that, so that they're more focused on game options.
So what are we playing today?
So today we're going to be playing one of the two maps, which one of those maps is Meltdown. We won't be playing that today, but we will be looking at Solitude. Solitude is a brand new map that does require Warmind ownership. As with any DLC map in Private Match, you need to have ownership to
If I'm playing in the playlist,
good to go. And that is actually a survival map. It's one we built for survival. It plays very well in survival. We're very excited. And we're going to play a little bit accelerated today. We're going to put rounds to win at 2.
Team Lives
6, which is the playlist version. We sped it up a little bit just to get it a little more snappy, but today we're going to be playing 6. So we're going to play Solitude Survival, and we're going to show off some new sandbox stuff.
Let's do it.
Boom.
Cool, thanks guys. So just to recap, Season 3 delivers private matches and seasonal Crucible rankings to every player of Destiny 2. We're also delivering the new Crucible maps that we're releasing with Warmind. You'll be able to enjoy those in matchmaking. If you want to use them in private matches, you do need to own the expansion. So as they depart toward this new match, I'd like to introduce you to the final wave of developers that are in the hot seats. We have our final bosses for the day are John Wisniewski. Morning. And Josh Hamrick. Hello. You probably have seen these two gentlemen talking about their work on many occasions past, whether it's a bounty or a video or a stream like this. So we are going to be talking about the sandbox tuning for Season 3. This live fire exercise in the Crucible will be a great opportunity for us to look at how exotic weapons are all becoming just a little bit more exotic. Talk to us a little bit about what your goals have been in reaching into the sandbox and making some of the most coveted weapons a little bit more dangerous.
The big goals that we were trying to hit with the exotic weapon pass that is going to be going live in May is that we wanted to increase the feeling of exoticness or power or sort of a specific gameplay experience that was happening with each exotic weapon. Basically, with the focus of just making everything stronger, faster, better, just pushing everything a little bit harder. And we wanted to do that in a way that was leaning into the exotic fantasy or the gameplay that we'd already established with the weapons on release.
Okay.
So we weren't trying to make any like drastic changes to how these things play. If you already know how they play, if you already like them, or if there's one that like you feel like it could be better, but it just needs a little something, that gameplay is still going to be pretty familiar to you. It's just gonna be a lot more effective, hopefully in every activity that you like playing.
Okay. Well,
Like Fighting Lion, what you see here is now a beast. John can tell you everything it does, but it is one of my personal favorites. I've been running it like crazy in playtest.
Yeah, the thing we did to Fighting Lion to make it a little bit better is we gave it more ammo, and we basically did a small adjustment to how damage works on it. So we added more damage to the detonation and took a little bit off the impact. So it places a little less pressure on trying to get that grenade to hit and makes the detonation a little bit more friendly.
Lets you reach out and touch people.
Yeah, it just makes it a little bit more reliable. Oh my god, it's fun.
So some hot potato action for me this time.
this design pass, did it include all of the exotic weapons, or did you pick some very specific targets that you wanted to focus on?
Almost all of them. There's only a handful that didn't get touched, and because we thought those ones were already playing pretty well, or already getting relatively positive feedback from the community, and because we did have a limited amount of time, we wanted to make sure we were hitting all the stuff that really needed a good pass.
Yeah. So if Fighting Lion is one that you're really enjoying, John, what are you looking forward to getting your hands on when the 1.2.0 update kicks off Season 3?
I'm really excited about the Graviton Lance. We talked about it a whole bunch, but I think that one just came together really nicely. I think it's going to be a really good weapon for all activities. Yeah. It's going to be great. I think it'll definitely, in the PvP world, it'll definitely give Vigilance Wing a run for its money.
Okay.
For sure.
Well, we are in the PvP world right now, so maybe we can see a little bit of Graviton Lance.
Oh, another thing, while I remember, another thing we did to Fighting Lion to make it a little bit better is if you are still, this has more ammo now, if you are still feeling some ammo pressure, if you get a kill with the grenade, it guarantees a special ammo, an energy ammo brick to drop. Do we have any good snipers we could watch?
Oh, damn! You're welcome to go take a seat, Captain.
All right, fine. Oh, well, that wasn't it. Yeah, you should. You should.
We've got Risk Runner. What did you do to Risk Runner?
Risk Runner? So currently Risk Runner, when you take arc damage, you're resistant to arc damage, and it activates the Arc Overdrive perk, where basically the gun comes to your life and just like blasts everything with electrical energy. We increased the amount of arc damage resistance you get when the weapon activates, and then we enabled that for PvP. So now you can run Risk Runner.
Yeah.
If you get hit with arc damage in PvP, you will take half damage from the arc source. It will turn on the arc damage or the Arc Overdrive perk, making the weapon way more lethal. And then another thing we did is that we allowed the Arc Overdrive perk to enable when you have it stowed. So you don't have to have it out. If you have the weapon backpacked and you take arc damage, it's going to turn on. You're going to get a notification like, hey, it's party time. I pull out Risk Runner, ready to go.
Party time.
But important distinction for the PvP players is that you only get the damage resistance when the weapon is in your hand. Okay. So the perk can activate when you take damage, but you have to pull it out to be able to get the damage resistance.
Second match is coming up. We're going to play some Clash. Map settings being tweaked. Saw that Skyburner's Oath had been equipped.
Yeah.
Skyburner's Oath
Oh my God!
has actually been a favorite of mine.
There's nothing
in Crucible.
interesting.
Scout in Crucible.
Like nothing.
What have you done to my baby?
It's got the most, probably one of the biggest changes.
Yeah, it took a long time. It took a long time to like really dial in how the projectile is going to work. But basically, we talked about this in the 12 a little bit ago, but Skyburner's Oath had, sorry.
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's an inside joke. It's an inside joke.
Skyburner's Oath had it had a relatively good amount of utility and power. It was a pretty strong weapon. It just didn't have any spectacle. When you used it, it just sort of felt like one of the other legendary guns. Even though it was pretty strong, it was pretty effective for most activities. Yeah. And so we just kind of wanted to give it some sparkle, some pizzazz. And so what we did is we sort of looked at the duality nature of the weapon, where it fires fast from hip and then fires slow when you ADS. And we just sort of okay, let's make a more distinctive separation here between hip fire and aiming down sights. So now aiming down sights is going to behave like it did, fire slow, high impact, precision damage. We put explosive rounds on the weapon, so anytime you hit with any playstyle, it's going to explode and do some damage. But then for the hip fire, what we did is we slowed down the projectiles, so we sort of put a little bit of gravity on them, so you're kind of lobbing these almost feels like a rapid fire grenade launcher.
Okay.
And then we put some. The first attempt at doing that was okay, this is fun. I can see the feeling of how this is going to work, but it's pretty hard to actually hit targets with a slower projectile. So we're screw it, man. We're trying to make exotics strong and awesome. Let's put some tracking on this thing, so you kind of don't have to aim all that much.
Target seeking rounds.
Yep.
All right. The first version of that was strong.
It's insane.
Show me the
It looks really strong.
That's nasty.
It would track you down.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! That is awesome. That's going to be fun, man. That is going to be fun.
Yeah, definitely great to like how Kevin's using it here. It's a really fun weapon to use as a warlock. It's sort of you're like strafing through the air, and just sort of raining fire, almost like you're some kind of sky burner.
Oh God! Look at that! Have fun with your puns. Have fun with your groan-worthy puns.
Oh,
What was that?
that was Hardlight.
And what have you done to Hardlight?
Hardlight, we basically gave it the same functionality that Borealis has now, where you can hold down the reload button to change damage types on the fly.
Okay.
And then we did something that I'm really excited about. So one of the things that people know and love about Hardlight, of course, as you can see there, is that it bounces willy-nilly all over the place. The utility of that is not super strong. There's a lot of spectacle there. It feels like a laser light show, but trying to actually pull something off with that has been difficult. So what we did is, with Hardlight now, every time a bullet ricochets, it gets double damage. So if you're bouncing stuff around the corner, you're going to be doing twice as much damage. A little bit harder to hit, but when you get the hits, it's going to pay off.
Blind firing, high risk reward.
And I am really excited to see what kind of montage material we can get from people doing trick shots, bounce shots, like shooting at the ground in front of somebody to have it bounce up and hit them and then melt them instantly.
Well, as much as I'm loving the Skyburner's Oath exhibition here, wondering if we can get, as much as you've talked about Graviton Lance, I'm wondering if we can get a Graviton Lance equipped on that character. Thank you so much.
This is going to be disgusting.
Okay, and why will this be disgusting?
It's just good. Like, we use the power of math to make sure the time to kill on Graviton is pretty competitive. So, yeah.
Time to kill has been a frequent topic of conversation in our community. How does Graviton Lance specifically answer that question? You said the power of math. You're just making this weapon more lethal, more powerful. Well, look at that.
Yeah. So basically, so one of the things we did to Graviton is we made it a 2-round burst instead of a 3-round burst. So the first bullet's a little bit weaker. The second bullet is much stronger with a little bit harder kick. But that's one bullet less that you have to fire, so it's already got a competitive advantage against other pulse rifles. And as we were making these changes for May, changes were also happening in tandem for the Go Fast update, which we released a little bit ago. And as most people know, pulse rifles got a significant buff. And when those changes sort of like rolled our way and we play tested, we were like, holy crap, this thing's amazing. And then it was sort of one of those moments where like, do we change it? Do we keep it? What do we do? We're like, screw it. Plays great. People love it. We're just going to keep it. So yeah, pulse rifle buff made this thing pretty awesome. And yeah, we're just gonna let it roll and see how it goes.
For the first 3 years of Destiny, we presided over a lot of conversations about certain weapons being OP. Certain weapons had reigns of terror throughout the course of different sandbox updates. With Destiny 2, a lot of the feedback has been nothing's OP.
Yeah.
And they wanted some of those rough edges to come back. Looks like you're doing that.
Yep, absolutely.
Speaking of rate of fire changes and things like that, Crimson,
yeah. Crimson's getting better. Crimson is not necessarily going to have a flashy update like Skyburner. If you know how to use Crimson, it's going to be play the same. It's going to be very consistent. What we did to make Crimson a more competitive option for PvP. Oh, and just for the whole game, the first thing we did
Watch the taunts.
One of the biggest pieces of feedback about Crimson is that I run out of ammo too fast. So we addressed that. We gave it a whole bunch more ammo.
There it is now.
For the competitive world, we basically looked at Crimson as we want to try and match the time to kill of an aggressive family hand cannon, which is 3 shots at the head. It was interesting trying to solve that because Crimson is a 3-round burst, and it also, the burst fires a little bit slower than a pulse rifle because we wanted to make it still feel like a hand cannon. We actually tried it early on in Curse of Osiris. We tried firing Crimson as a 3-round burst like the sidearm, and it just made it feel really light and sort of like it felt like you were using a sidearm with funny art.
Yeah, it did not feel like it.
Yeah. So we actually we increased the damage on the bullets and then slowed down the burst, so it really felt a little bit chunky. But anyways, trying to match the exact time to kill to an aggressive hand cannon meant doing some specific tuning to precision damage and basically the rate of fire. So we slowed down, or sorry, we sped up.
Everyone saw that coming.
We sped up the time between bursts to be able to match the cadence of an aggressive hand cannon, and then to be able to match the exact time in shots to kill, we had to make it so that the first bullet of the final burst is the killing blow of Crimson. So, because it fires 3 rounds per burst, you actually have a lot of room for error there, so you can afford to get in some body shots or miss a couple rounds, and you'll still be competitive with aggressive hand cannons.
Cool. If you were to place a bet, what gun do you think is going to be a standout? Uh-oh, here it comes.
Yeah.
Are you going to go Sturm? You're not going to go Rat King? All right, your choice. Your choice. We're talking about hand cannons.
So you can get some of those crispy 2-taps.
Give me some crispy 2-taps. Not bad.
There we go. So
he's got a primed.
He's now got a primed overcharge bullet, which means he can get a 2-shot kill if he doesn't miss. So how this one is going to work is Sturm and Drang are paired weapons. There it is.
Crispy.
So you get a kill with Drang. It automatically...
Oh, you're just so bored with yourself. You're just so awesome. You're so bored with yourself.
Getting a kill with Drang automatically reloads Sturm, and it adds 1 bonus round to the magazine. A new functionality with Sturm is that any overloaded round, so Sturm has a default magazine of 12, it goes up to 20. So rounds from 12 to 20 are going to have a significant amount of bonus damage.
But you only need 1.
But you only need 1 overcharged round plus 1 normal round shots to the head to get a kill in Crucible. And then in the PvE world, you can get kills with Drang all day, overload Sturm up to 20 rounds, and be sitting pretty.
All right. Well, those are the 2 Crucible matches that we were going to play today. Some good pearls there about the exotic weapon tuning. We don't need to reveal every single detail on stream. Might as well, we do love watching our exotic weapon reviews from our community, and that will be a good opportunity for us to understand if we've gotten closer to the sweet spot. We'd love to hear your opinions about these exotic weapons. You'll have an opportunity to get your hands on them on May 8th, when Season 3 begins with the launch of Warmind, second expansion to Destiny 2. Any parting comments about your work and what you hope you'll see in Season 3, gentlemen?
I'm genuinely excited. It was joy working on this, like just making everything a little bit cooler and a little bit better. I can't wait for people to get their hands on it, and if it's not good enough, let us know. Do another pass.
Hopefully it is. Looking forward to the videos that come out. We also finished fixing the sniper scope bug, and so snipers out there, like, your time has arrived. Super excited about the montages and stuff that will show up.
Cool.
Yeah, and all this. So, yeah.
Right. Well, this begins a larger conversation about Warmind and Season 3. That conversation will continue. We'll continue to give you a glimpse at how some of the different exotic weapons are changing. We'll give some different developer insights for some of the activities that we've revealed today, and we've still got a couple of weeks to set expectations about all of this. So we thank you for tuning in. We thank you for watching. We're looking forward to seeing you play Warmind. We're looking forward to bumping into you out in the wild as we play some Escalation Protocol. And of course, there's an entire new campaign, an entire new story to tell, and I hope we haven't spoiled too much of that for you. I'm Deej from Bungie. It's been my pleasure to host today, and we'll begin this conversation again soon.
Oh my God, y'all! That's what that was. Was that? Oh, don't worry.
Guardians aren't supposed to investigate their past. That's the rule. But I'm not good with rules. Not when there's this much at stake. The Clovis Bray tech in that building allowed us to colonize the system during the